What's up, y'all? It is day 168 of our walk across the country, and let's turn this off for y'all. Got a beautiful sunset. I don't know if you can see that super well in the background. We're walking into Columbus today, to Columbus, Ohio, and we've had some cool experiences. It's been a few days since I hopped on here and gave an update, so I figured, what the heck? So where should I start? In Indiana, we had the pleasure of staying with the Tensmeyer family for several days. That was incredible. They were so good to us, so kind to us. They put us up for 3 or 4 nights. We used that as our base as we continued eastward, marking our location each day and driving back to where we left off the next morning. The Tensmeyers hooked us up with, just love and comfort for Rocky, and they got him a one of those, what's it called, a dog necklace, a dog tag, with the inscription Rocky Miles Balboa on it, with both mine and James' phone number, just in case we get separated or one of our phones isn't working. And so finally the other day we camped for the first day after like 3 weeks of staying indoors. We'd stayed with Susan Stanton in Nauvoo for a week, solid week. Stayed with Jobber for another solid week, then putting us up in a couple hotels in that week. And then we stayed for a week with the Tensmeyers, and we weren't used to camping, and so we camped again one night, and then we camped 2 nights, and starting to get old, after a couple nights camping in the frigid cold. It's a little bit of a sketchy shoulder here, bear with me. Anyway, finally we're walking on the side of the road. You guys may have seen the story on our Facebook post, but we have this couple, this woman, Carissa Betcher. She stops and she asks me, she says, "Hey, are you the can guy?" I said, "What?" She said, "Yeah, are you the guy collecting cans? I hear there's a guy that, goes up and down the highway collecting cans." And I'm like, "No, I'm actually doing a coast to coast walk. I'm walking for peace." And she's like, "Oh, wow, that's amazing." And so I tell her a little bit more about it and what we've been doing and how long we've been going since June 24th, for peace, for acceptance and kindness. And she's like, "Well, do you need anything?" I was like, "Well, absolutely. We will, we'll take some water. We'll always take water." And she's like, "All right, yeah, we'll get you some water. We have bottles there at the house." So she has her husband go and drive and get us some water. So a few minutes later, after she had left, I started walking, and she met the dog, by the way. She met Rocky and loved him instantly and was so sweet to him. So a few minutes later, this man pulls up, and I wasn't sure at first who he was, because I was like wandering around near this shed, taking a video of this mural on the side of a shed. This may be the worst location I think I've chosen to do a video. It's just so busy. But he pulls up. He said, "Are you Paul?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm Paul." He's like, "Cool. You're from San Francisco, right? That's cool. I'm from Washington." And we just start talking. We just start shooting the breeze about life and just politics, economy, state of the country, and everything, and we start talking about God and religion and faith and Christ. And he just started sort of bearing his testimony to me about Jesus Christ and about faith and how vitally important it is to trust in Jesus and to really just believe in him and believe in his word and believe he has that he has saved us, basically. And just a really sweet, humble testimony, and solid dude. And so towards the end, I'm like, "Yeah, man, if you can leave the waters next to our car, that'd be awesome." And he's like, "Yeah, what else do you need?" And I'm like, "Well, I mean, I think he asked me what else. I'm like, dude, it'd be awesome if we had a place to stay, or you know of a place to stay. We're like, where? And I said, where's a good place to camp around here? He said, well, there's a farm not too far up, the Poor Boys Farm. It's like a campground, it's like a KOA. And he said, that'd be a good place to camp. I was like, sweet, man, sounds good. And so he prayed with me really quick. Got out of the car, put his hand on my shoulder, and he said one of the most heartfelt prayers, basically invoking the power of Jesus and of God in my life, and asking that he be with me and protect me and carry me along the way as we go and we do this walk for peace. It was beautiful. Brought me to tears, honestly. And some of you may have heard I went live the other day and talked about how I've been having a bit of a faith crisis lately. Not sure whether, or not to believe in Jesus Christ, in his infinite atonement. And it's just hard. It's been hard to believe. And so after the prayer, Russ is like, I'm having some friends over tonight for fellowship. One friend in particular who I haven't seen in years is going to be there. And, he's been struggling for a time and he's starting to do better, and told me a little bit about what was going to happen. And, he said, I'd love for you guys to be there. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. So we go for dinner that night for some chili, some hot dogs, and some cornbread. It was awesome. Great company. And, everyone got to meet Rocky. And honestly, before he even left, I felt like I knew this guy. I just had gotten to know him, and he seemed like just a good, solid, authentic man. So I was like, man, we've been struggling with this dog. He's a handful for us. It's my first time having a puppy and having him on the road. He just is not happy. He's whining all the time. He's in the kennel. He wants to be out. He wants to be running and moving around. And he doesn't like being kenneled so much because we've been kenneling him a good portion of the day. Because lately the shoulders on these roads in Indiana and Ohio are super, super skinny, or non-existent, such as Exhibit A. There's as you can see, there's no shoulder, right, on both sides. So I'm walking on this grassy little ditch off to the side right now. I was like, dude, they mentioned animals and pets and cats and dogs and how they had them, and they don't have a dog currently. And I'm like, they're thinking about getting a dog. I'm like, dude, if you guys could take my dog for a month and foster him while we finish this walk, that would be huge. I would really appreciate it. He's like, yeah, we'll do that for you, man. Absolutely. I was like, man, and it just felt right. So we took the dog over, we hung out for the night, and met the kids, and got to know Carissa and Russ a little bit better and heard their testimony, and they let us set up the tent on the outside of the house, and both of them agreed to take the dog for the month until James and I finish and I drive back to collect Rocky. Sweet little puppy. I've been missing him today. And then after we'd set up the tent, they're like, yo, if you guys want, you can sleep inside. You don't have to sleep outside. It's cold out there. And being stubborn, I'm like, well, that's fine. I've already set the tent up. I'll sleep outside. James slept inside. So I got double padding. I got double sleeping bags, double blankets. And it was cold, but it was fine. And then the next morning, they let us sleep inside. Perfect strangers. Let us sleep inside their house. Super nice, super awesome. And they're fostering my puppy, Rocky. Now, aside from that, it just keeps getting better, guys. We just keep getting blessed nonstop. I've got these gloves. It's a little difficult to hold the camera effectively. So at the beginning of the day yesterday, first off, I said a prayer in my heart, and I said a prayer out loud. God, please bless us that we will have people to help us along this journey, that we will have people that will allow us to stay with them. It's getting cold, and we're trying to save our money until we absolutely really need it. Hotel stays tend to be 100, 120, 140 a night. And we only have enough for 3 or 4 hotel stays. So please, God, bless us that we'll have someone to stay with tonight. And then I thought, I'm going to post on the Summit of Greatness group. I attended the Summit of Greatness last year in 2019, October, and I met some amazing people. And it was here in Columbus, Ohio, which we're about to enter. We're about to start walking through. We spent some time in there earlier. I'll tell you about that here, maybe in a separate video. Ooh, it's already 10 minutes, shoot. Anyway, so I say that prayer, and I post that post on the Summit of Greatness group on Facebook. It's Lewis House's event group. And I'll tell you what, man, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours pass. A few people comment, a few people like the post. And then one guy, Doug Mack, he comments. He likes the post and he's like, yo, I've got a group I can connect you guys with here in Columbus. This guy's in Florida, mind you. He said, I lived there for a while. I'm connected with a lot of amazing leaders, a lot of heart-centric people. And I'm going to see what I can do to get you guys some assistance, to get you guys some help in Columbus. I was like, sweet, man. That sounds awesome. And I feel like he worked for 2 or 3 hours on contacting people directly and freaking like posting. He posted several posts in groups that were centered around the Columbus area. Like, hey, these guys are walking coast to coast for peace. They could use a place to stay. If you can put them up, that would be awesome. And, little comments here and there started trickling in. Oh, we'd love to have them, but our place is too small. Or, we'll put them up Wednesday and Thursday night, but we can't tonight or tomorrow night. So we'll be reaching out to that lady. But he's like, dude, I'm not getting anything. I'm going to start directly messaging people. So we started sending direct messages to people. And finally, like 2.5 hours after he said he's going to find us a place, he's like, dude, I'm totally committed to finding you guys a place. And within minutes, he found a guy, Abe Alexander. Shout out to Abe, who got us a place, hooked us up. And before we went to the Airbnb last night, we went and grabbed our sweatshirts and visited James's cousin, Chris Wernley, which was amazing. Seeing their house and getting to meet them and meet his family a little bit. And thank you to Shonda. I've been practicing your last name. It's one I've never heard before. Santiago, something like that. We appreciate you, Shonda Lynn Santiago, for making these sweaters for us. I'd show you the back if I could, but it's sort of impossible. You can see that backwards. But it's basically a Walk for Peace symbol that Ryan Pilkington made.